Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Now today I'm going to be looking at a band I've not heard of before. I've had this recommended to me many times by one of my ever so lovely viewers. They've asked for it time and time again, and for some reason it's one I've always sort of like forgotten about or something like that, but they've asked for it many times. We're going to be looking at a band called The Last Successor. Now, tried to do some, search for a bit of information on them like I normally do. Couldn't find a bloody thing. All I could find comes from Encyclopedia Metalum. Again, in the past we've had some rather sketchy and incredibly incorrect information off this site, but it's the best I could find. But what I found was the Last Successor are from Beijing. They formed in 2002. They are a progressive / power metal band whose themes are based on Chinese mythology, nature, and mysticism. So there we go. Now, the track that I was recommended was a track called Never the Truth. And unfortunately, there's no actual video for this, so in the corner we've just got the the cover of the LP or whatever that it's from. I do have lyrics here now. They are fan-translated lyrics, because under the video there was the lyrics, but they were written in Chinese. Somebody in the comments has translated the lyrics into English, so I don't know how accurate they are actually going to be to what the lyrics of the actual song are, but who am I to complain? Someone did the translation for me. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what this is like, because like I said, I've been asked for this a few times now, so I'm finally getting around to it. So this is Never the Truth by The Last Successor. Let's have a look. Alcohol free. This beginning reminds me of something from a film. I can't remember what film it's from. Well, there we go. Never the Truth by The Last Successor, or yeah, The Last Successor. That was really, really good. I mean, the actual music alone was just amazing. You know, I've mentioned before, in fact, I think I mentioned in the last video, I love the sound of violins. I love the sound of strings, you know. So one of my favourite instruments in the world is the violin. That's why I'm learning to play it at the moment, in fact. But the strings behind that music, it just sounded amazing. You know, at the beginning I said, you know, it's progressive / power metal. You can definitely feel the progressive elements in there. You know, it's, you know, this isn't exactly like the bloody hell's the band I'm trying to think of. I mean, this isn't like the Chinese theatre, not Theatre of Tragedy. Dream Theatre, that's the one I'm trying to think of. Then, you know, they're not the Chinese Dream Theatre, but you know, you can kind of see the parallels between the two bands, kind of. You know, Dream Theatre's a bit more fiddly, fret wanky sort of progressive metal, and this has got a much more melodic structure to it, if that makes any sense. You know, don't get me wrong, I like Dream Theatre, but they do tend to make things a little bit overly complicated. You know, unnecessarily so. Whereas this, it's like very straightforward, you know, it's got all of the elements, it's got wonderful layering, you know, and again, this was a very, very long song. I mean, this song was like 8 or 9 minutes long, so, you know, I wasn't expecting that. Considering how short the lyrics are, you know, but it was a wonderful, wonderful piece of music. You know, I could have listened to that piece of music for ages. It was brilliant, you know, especially with those strings in there. It just sounded beautiful. Excuse me. Now, as far as the vocals go, I will admit, when the voice first came in, I thought it sounded a little bit thin. You know, it didn't have any impact behind it. You know, the voice felt a little bit weak, you know, to start off with. But as it went on, it sort of grew on me, as it were. You know, so it wasn't that bad. And you know, there were elements where he sort of dug deep and put a little bit of growl, a little bit of gravel into the voice, you know, and that sounded really, really good. So, you know, overall, I thought it was a really, really good piece of music. I really liked it. I loved the sound of it. It was very chilled. It was very relaxing. You know, it did have its heavy elements, but it was still quite a chilled piece of music, really. Now, like I said, I do have lyrics here, and they are fan translated, so I don't know how accurate they're going to be. There does seem to be a little bit of confusion maybe in some of the actual translation here, but well, we get the general idea. And again, it seems to almost be talking about how miserable the world is, you know, and you know how, you know, we need to sort of try and find the beauty in the world, and you know how everything around us is set to deceive us, that sort of thing. Possibly. I could be way off base. Because it starts out here, desire to understand dreams. In the dark there is sadness. I can't tell where to go. How can I find the reason for everything? This is the state of the world I live in. The truth is cruel. Never the truth, any life and ideology. Never the truth, weaving a beautiful world. Hugging seems to feel the warmth. You know, that line seems a little bit badly translated. Why cry for that future everyone knows? I can't tell where to go. How can I find the reason for everything? This is the state of the world I live in. Truth is cruel. Never the truth. Any life and ideology. Never the truth. Weaving a beautiful world. Faith is always found when we are most vulnerable. Seems to redeem ignorant souls, but still can't change our continued behaviour. Can't shake the truth. it's really cruel. And that bottom line there actually says quite a lot. That last line says quite a lot. But throughout it, he's saying, I desire to understand dreams, and in the truth there is in the dark there is sadness. The world we live in at the moment is quite bleak. There's so many bad things in the world. There's rampant racism, there's rampant homophobia, there's like imminent threats of war. You've got Russia hassling Ukraine, and all this bullshit going on. It's a pretty miserable state of affairs, and in the darkness there is sadness. And that's just a general thing anyway, like in depression is darkness, and in that the sadness, that sort of thing. And I can't tell where to go. How can I find the reason for everything? I don't know which way to turn. Everything is so fucked up. I don't know how to find my way out. How can I find the reason behind everything? I want to know why the world is in such a shitty state. If everybody just got along, the world would be a wonderful place. Why are we always at odds with each other? What is the purpose of always being at conflict with each other? Rather than going, oh, that guy's got something I want, so I'm going to invade them, I'm going to attack them, whatever. Why can't you just turn around and go, do you know what? I would like what you've got. Can I maybe give you something in exchange for it? Be amicable about it. You don't need to go and start conflict. What is the reason behind it? Why can't people just be nice to each other? What is the point in being violent and aggressive? He's saying there, I can't find the reason for everything. It makes no sense. It's stupid. This is the state of the world I live in. The truth is cruel. This is the state of the world we live in, and that's the truth of it. And the truth is cruel. We live in a shitty time where people are complete cunts to each other. It's not nice. And then it goes, never the truth, any life, any ideology, never the truth. So this is either people who are like pleading ignorance, just turning a blind eye to what's going on, living in their own little fantasy world, going, you know what? That's happening over there. It's got nothing to do with me. My life is great, when in reality it's really not. They're just lying to themselves. Or it could also be possibly, the fact that, the governments that start all these conflicts, the governments that start all these wars, the governments that constantly lie to us, tell us, oh, everything's fine, this is how things should be done, this is how you should live your life. They never tell us the truth. They're constantly lying to us, constantly bullshitting us so that they can benefit from whatever it is at the expense of us. Any life, any ideology, never the truth. So, they'll feed us any lies to placate us. That sort of thing. Weaving a beautiful world. Again, this again could be the ignorant people, people turning a blind eye to the shit state of affairs in the world and how bleak their life really is. They've made this beautiful world in their own mind, possibly. That could be what they mean. There is that line there, hugging seems to feel the warmth. Like I say, I think that might be a slight mistranslation, but I can't quite figure out how. Why cry for that future everyone knows? So you know what's coming. So why be so upset at it? You know it's coming. I don't know. And again, it says, I can't tell where to go. How can I find the reason for everything? This is a state of the world I live in. Truth is cruel. Never the truth. Any life and ideology, never the truth. Weaving a beautiful world. Faith is always found when we are most vulnerable. Now, there's two ways of looking at this. Because there's those people who are like, I need something to turn to. I need some strength to get me through this. And they turn to religion or whatever. And then there's those people who only turn to religion when it suits them, if that makes sense. They could sit there and be sitting at home enjoying a beer, smoking cigarettes, whatever. But as soon as something bad happens, all of a sudden they become the most religious person in the world, you know. And, you know, they're like, oh, I must go to church. And as soon as the thing's over with, they go back to the slovenly lifetime before. You know, they only turn to faith and religion when it suits them. And in my personal experience, I tend to find that seems to be most people. You know, they only turn to their religion when it suits them. You know, they're quite happy to go on living their lives in, you know, disobeying the 10 Commandments and all that bullshit. But as soon as any triviality comes along, they suddenly go, oh no, you know, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want yada yada bollocks, 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 you know. And, you know, it even says there, it seems to redeem ignorant souls, but still can't change our continued behaviour. You know, this is exactly what I just said, you know, these people turning to religion, you know, it seems to redeem ignorant souls, but it can't change our continued behaviour. We, you know, no matter how much you say, oh, God is my shepherd, yada yada, bollocks, 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 you know, no matter how much people turn around and say, yes, I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic, you know, I'm a religious person, so therefore I must be good, what a load of bollocks, you know, people still continue to be cunts to each other. You know, most war in the world is caused by religion, for a start. But, you know, all these people who claim to be, like, these religious people, who are supposed to be, by definition of the Bible, if you read it, you know, they're supposed to be the good, pure people. These are the people who are supposed to get into heaven. You know, but it's also these people that are continually causing conflicts and wars. You know, you have like presidents saying, you know, God told me to do this. You know, you have presidents saying, you know, I believe in God, this, that, and the other. By the way, can we send this army into this country because they've got something I want? You know, the faith seems to redeem them. You know, they're sitting there going, yeah, I'm an amazing, holy, amazing person. But really, they're just still assholes. You know, it doesn't make a difference. You know, and it says they can't shake the truth. It's really cruel. People are cunts, basically. And they will only turn to like faith and stuff when it suits them, when it benefits them, and when it makes them look good. You know, they'll do it for all outside appearances, but in reality, they couldn't give a shit. So, you know, that's what it seems to be talking about, what a shitty state the world is. And they're not wrong, if I'm reading it right. But, you know, like I said, it's a good piece. I love the piece of music. I thought it sounded amazing. Like I said, the vocals, you know, started off feeling a little bit reedy, a little bit thin, a little bit weak. But, you know, they grew on me. And like I said, in parts of the song, you put a little bit of growl, a little bit of grit into it. And I really liked it. I really actually want to hear more of their music. So... Blade Thesis, I think it was, that suggested this song to me. If you can think of any other tracks by this band that you think I should listen to, please let me know, because it was a really good piece of music, and I'm sorry that it took me so long to look at it. But anyway, I don't know what else I can say about that, so I'm going to leave that as it is. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, or maybe even subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because that really, really would help me out. You know, at the moment, I think only about 90% of the people watching my videos are unsubscribed. You know, only 9.5% of people watching my videos are subscribers, you know, and that's pretty crap, you know. And, you know, it doesn't cost you anything, you know, to like and subscribe. You know, it takes a fraction of a second, and it doesn't cost you anything. But it really, really would help me out. You know, I spend a lot of time and effort making these videos, and, you know, I'm putting them out on the internet, and they're just disappearing. You know, people aren't seeing them, you know, and 3 months later I'm getting a message from someone saying, oh, I finally found this video that I asked you to look at. You know, how comes it's taken me so long to find it? And it's because, you know, people just aren't liking and subscribing. You know, it really would help me out. You know, it's not that much to ask, is it? Is it? But anyway, yep, that's all I got for you today. So thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.